All right, we're going to take a break on the final word. And when we return, we'll be talking to American umpire, friend of the final word, Brian Arcane. Maybe we'll go to that next. So Rahkeem Cornwall makes a double ton in a T20. It's the first time that it's happened, certainly the first time that it's happened in a proper cricket game. I'm sure that's happened before, but in a game of that standing. What sort of tournament was it? And how does it come to pass that Rahkeem Cornwall, who's a man who's playing international cricket quite a bit over the last few years, is playing effectively a club game in the States?
The Atlanta Open, where I was this weekend, is one of a number of featured professional / semi-professional tournaments that pop up around the U.S. throughout the year. There's a collection of them, including the Houston Open, including the U.S. Open, including the nation's capital T20 in D.C., where local clubs will, with a bunch of subsidies that they've got from local sponsors, will bring in a group of professional players to join their local clubbies for the weekend, and or a full professional team like a minor league cricket team or another franchise that has popped up over the years will submit 1 or 2 teams to a tournament like this. So the tournament this weekend, there were 16 teams, 4 groups of 4. I'd say 2 of the 4 teams in each group are fully professionalized. And then below that are semi-pro teams and then academy sides. So the minor league cricket here in the US, there is also a quota of how many underage players you need to have on the field. This team that Rahkeem was playing against in this game was a team mostly made up of a collection of those underage players, both from academies in New Jersey, as well as in North Carolina, as well as some semi-pros that were playing along and captaining with them. I know some of the players on that team. They're very talented, but mostly underage players. And this is an open competition. So if you have an academy, you have a professional team, you have a club team that wants to pay the registration fee to join the Atlanta Open or to join any one of these tournaments, you can join. And that's the point. So we have some professional outfits, some semi-professional outfits, some academy sides, all playing against each other, hoping to gain a little bit of experience. We see lots of chatter back and forth online. Is this proper cricket? It's being played on a matting. If you noticed in the video, you'll notice too that this particular match was only being played on one side of the wicket. This is a pretty standard American practice because we often have woods or dangerous areas sort of off to the side of our fields in these major cities where we're trying to build brand new cricket pitches. And so on that game, we were only bowling from one end and the umpires had to cross and go back and forth to that one end the entire time, which is an experience that we're very used to in American cricket. But when the Scottish national team players and about 10 county pros showed up to this year's Atlanta Open, they were a bit confused when I told them, oh no, you're looking at the dressing rooms. It's that tent over there sitting next to the pile of mulch that will be used later to fix the ground. That is your dressing room, Kyle Coates. That is your dressing room, Daniel Bell Drummond. Please enjoy your time in Atlanta.
So the guys who are coming over from the UK to play, just to be clear, this is the same kind of tournament that Rahkeem was in. It's not that was it literally the same tournament or the same kind of tournament?
This is the same tournament. So this weekend we had Darren Stevens, we had Ravi Bopara, we had Rahkeem Cornwall, we had about half of the CPL. Mohammed Irfan, the 7'1" left arm bowler, was here all weekend playing with us in Atlanta. So like I said, there's about 2 professional teams per group, and then all the other guys get the experience, get to show up to a tournament like this and test their skills against some of the best in the world.
Right, so it's not as though, I mean, in final word terms, this isn't Derek Ishmael Khan playing against Rahkeem Cornwall. It's kids who will get the opportunity to advance in cricket, and I guess that's something we can all be supportive of. And the fact that Rahkeem teed off, just give us a sense of that visceral experience of watching him, as strong as he is, hit 22 sixes in 50 odd balls or whatever it worked out to be.
It's an amazing experience watching him play, both from a sort of danger standpoint, because at any point that ball is coming back at your forehead, either as the square leg or the bowling side umpire. So you always have to be on your feet, ready to move when he's up there batting. But this, I think, at this point in the last 2 years, this is probably the 12th or 13th match I've had with him. He has been moving around the U.S. in these various tournaments throughout the last couple of years. And you get used to sort of how he plays and how he sets up and what it's like to watch him. I think the first 4 or 5 balls of the innings went for dots. I was standing at square leg and I watched him miss by a mile the first 4 or 5 that came down to him. But once he hit the first one, he just did not stop. The kids, I think they used about 8 bowlers through the innings. They tried all sorts of different tactics to try and get him out. And I just don't know that they had the wherewithal to put it in the right spot to get him out. Anytime he swung the bat, it was gone. I think this oval, let's say on average, had about a 61 or 62 yard boundary. So he's not hitting that far and he's only hitting from one end. The jute mattings that we play on, especially since this was the second match of the day, tend to get a bit looser, tend to get a bit flatter, and tend to get a bit easier to hit off as the day goes on. So this were perfect conditions for him to just tee off, and he really did. We worked it out later. He had 22 sixes and 17 fours, which means he ran exactly 5 singles throughout the entire match of his 205. It was amazing to be there at the other end. As you've seen, and some other people have commented on the Discord and stuff, I have a relatively unique 6 signal. And people have been telling me that I was just doing jumping jacks all day, raising my arms over and over again as Rahkeem smashed the ball back over everybody else's head.